do it forever. God, you are good and your mercy endure it forever. People from every nation and tongue, from generation to generation, we worship you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, we worship you for who you are. You are good. Hello, friends. This is Robert Hemphill from my 15 Minutes of Gospel Ministries at Ministries 1123. Just want to bring a lesson to you from Romans, first chapter, verses 14 through 16. And it's basically talking about introducing the gospel to everyone, all. Let me read the scriptures. Paul is saying, I am obligated to both the Greeks and non-Greeks, both to the wise and the foolish. That is why I am so eager to preach the gospel also to you who are in Rome, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew and then to the Gentiles. I'd like to start off in the introduction by saying Paul is declaring in Romans, the first chapter, verse 14, that he has a duty to share the gospel with everyone, including the barbarians and the Greeks, as well as to the wise and to the foolish. He highlights his dedication to spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ to everyone, irrespective of their upbringing, their level of education. He believes that everyone, even those in Rome, should hear the gospel. I just want to point out, when he mentioned the barbarians, the Greeks referred to themselves as Greeks, but anyone who was not a Greek, they referred to them as barbarian. Paul talks about his sense of duty to spread the gospel to everyone. Doesn't matter about their background. He owes it to talk to the smart, to the foolish, to those with or without formal education, to the Greeks, again, those Greek culture, and those who are without a Greek culture, which are called barbarians. And so that's just the way it was back then. I'd like to say that Paul's intention was not to assign the Romans in one class over another, but he felt like all mankind, no matter their background, nationality, or culture, is all meant for everyone. It's important that everyone have the opportunity to receive the gospel. He says the wise and stupid, the poor and uneducated, they were the first ones who embraced the gospel the most. And he did not imply that because of your culture or education you'll be excluded, but it's for everyone. He says the gospel is meant as a redemption, and it works for both the Jews and the Greeks who believe. He emphasized that this is a universal transformation of the gospel. Paul uses this metaphor. He talks about the olive tree, basically showing that Israel rejected God. And when he talked about Israel being rejecting, he's talking about broken branches. And that was just only temporary. And he said that the Gentiles were basically grafted in. So when Israel is recognized, the branches return and will be like life from the dead. And by stressing that if the first fruits, and when he said the first fruit, he's talking about the Christ and the initial Christian believers. These people are holy. And then the whole entire batch, which is the church, is equally holy. He emphasized the connection between the root and the branches. And he goes on to finish up by saying, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. He declares that his dedication is to spread the gospel in the face of possible hostility and mockery, and he was mocked when he was preaching and teaching. He says the gospel and the power of God is for salvation. The Christians, the gospel is a power that saves them, and everyone who believes Anyone who receives the gospel via the faith can access its power. To the Jews first and to the Greek, and all people, Jewish and Gentile alike, my brothers and sisters, can find hope in the gospel message of redemption, which cuts beyond cultural and religious barriers. So the gospel is for everyone. May God add a blessing to the hearer of his holy word. Have a blessed evening and have a great day.